Yeah.
It looks great. How would you
Yeah,
talk
so
about it?
silk made by Brian Alexander, bespoke, custom made suit, paying homage to my teams that I played for, high schools and college. So, yeah, I really appreciate it.
JC, coming to Tennessee under the tutelage of one of the greatest, if not the greatest offensive line coach of
Yeah,
all time,
Coach
Coach
Callahan.
Callahan. Have you talked to him? And if so, what did you pick up from him? And how excited are you to play with him?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I had a chance to meet him was when we were at the top 30 visit, and it was like supposed to be a 30-minute visit, and talking. We just talked about each other's background first, and then we went to techniques and plays. The next thing you know, 2 hours have passed by. I mean, I'm a student of the game. I love picking, the guys who have been there, the vets. I mean, I reach out to Will Anderson and Bryce Young, Jamar Gibbs, all those guys to ask, hey, like, what am I to expect? How do I get to where you guys are or avoid the mistakes that you guys have made? And, all of them come back to me, and I'll listen to it in depth, attention to detail. So having a chance to talk to him and sit down and really, just gain awareness and knowledge of the game from where he's been. He was out with the Browns at one point, and he was showing me tape on them. So, just having a chance to really just sit down and understand what it is that he's teaching and how he's teaching it was a blessing.
How's it going to be being able to go up against a guy like Jefferson on the other side of practice?
Yeah, I mean, iron sharpens iron, man. I'm extremely excited, get a chance to, just go against a great guy like that on a day-to-day basis.
JC, talk about trench king and what that means to you.
Yeah, so when I was at IMG, three guys were hurt. Two tore their ACL, one tore their MCL. So I had to switch over from DN to offensive line. I was a top 10 player in the country at the time. I was number 3 in my position as a defensive end. And making that switch, I wanted to hold myself to a standard. My offensive line coach, Coach George Hegeman, he was best friends with Deion Sanders. He played in the NFL with the Eagles, Buccaneers, and Cowboys. Played with Deion and Michael Irvin and Larry Allen, all those guys. So, the standard of what he's used to is extremely high, and he held me to that standard. And talking to, Deion every single day, when he was talking to him, he called himself prime time. So, I wanted to live up to kind of something like that. I didn't want to steal prime time, obviously, but yeah, so I sat down and thought about it. Every time you break it down in the O-line, D-line, you say it's the trenches. So I want to hold myself to a constant reminder and a standard of that's what I am. I'm the trench king.
Jonathan's been through this process, right? What do you think, or what kind of advice do you think you give back to your Alabama teammates, like either Book or that could be
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, T-Book. So my guy, I definitely tell him to enjoy the process. I didn't plan on losing to Michigan, but even so, I understood that there was a chance I'd lose and it'd be it, and you just look back and be like, dang, like it felt not long ago you was a freshman in the dorm, struggling with the fourth quarter program, and now you're considered a top 10 pick going into the NFL. Time really does fly, and all of our parents say that college is going to be the best years of your life, and it really is. So I tell them to enjoy the process, but also in the same time, don't try to rush it, and I think he's doing a great job at that. Some guys are, man, I don't care about this season. I'm just looking for the NFL, and he's doing a great job at not only putting the team first, when, guys are getting those accolades as well, but he's also understanding, like, I'm going to take it step by step and piece by piece, and that's what everybody should do so they can understand, like, hey, like, once it's all said and done, I don't want to have any regrets.
What kind of impact did Nick Saban have on your career? What's Alabama football going to look like under Nick Saban?
Alabama's still Alabama football. I've been to their practices, still fast, physical, high intensity. And the impact that Saban had on me, he developed me and everybody else into great young men on and off the field. Two things that he taught me that I just picked up naturally through him was if you want to be great or if you want to be the best, you have to be consistent and disciplined. If you want to be a leader, you have to hold people accountable, and if you want to be liked, sell ice cream. So those are things that I took from him. And one thing that I always look at, I went to state high school. I mean, a high school that was winning state. They won state, I think, like 12 times or 14 times since they were around. Then they ended up going to IMG and then Alabama. And one thing that I learned from him when he said it just made so much sense. When the student is ready to learn, the teacher will appear. And that just stood out so much to me that naturally through my life, just meeting a guy like Coach Callahan, and I'm ready for the next phase of my life, and I've always felt that way. To now meeting him and going over so much stuff, and that 30-minute conversation turned into 2 hours. The teacher appeared. So. I got you next.
What's up, brother? What's your message for those kids inspired them tonight?
Just keep going and just be consistent and just never give up. It's gonna be rainy days, it's gonna be tough days, but adversity is what makes you, and never compare yourself to anybody else. Comparison is the killer of joy. Your situation is different from somebody else. So you look at, I know Joe Alt went at 5. You look at our two situations completely different. So you never can just try to compare yourself to anybody. Just always focus on you and yourself. So yeah, I know you.
Alabama students, Alabama athletes, first off, Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide.
Just got picked to a team that's going through a bit of a rebuilding process. You've gone through the rebuilding process before. So how do you plan on to continue to just get through that process?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the things that the coaches stated over there was the process is you got to weed out all the guys who kind of want it, and the toxic people of the program to keep the integrity of the team beneficial to everybody else. And then you got to just build from the ground up, have a solid foundation of what your principles and morals are, and then from that standpoint, you just want to keep building up from there. It might happen in the first year. You might be everything that you want it to be. It might take a couple of years. But just never give up. As I told everybody else, just be consistent and disciplined. And success is when preparation meets opportunity. And just keep that in mind. Yeah, I love that, man. That's my guy. I'm not in college no more, so I can say we had bets, $20 bets on every rep. So I won a majority of them, but yeah, that's my guy. Just going against him every single day. He made me better, and I made him better, and iron sharpens iron. So.
JC, can you talk about your time at IMG and your time at Alabama? What's the standard of excellence that has been around you?
Yeah, my time at IMG, it meant a lot to me, especially going through that phase of, if anybody in this room, when you were 15 years old, if you went to a boarding school in Florida, without your parents, everybody knows how that get. So, homework and school and all that stuff, you got to keep that priorities in check. But it gets kind of hard, and that's when I had to learn that being an adult is handling your priorities and responsibilities. And then once I finally felt like I had a grasp on that, the guys got hurt, and I had to make a switch from D-line, something that I played my whole life, to O-line, something that I've never played before, really. And at a time to where I had 20 offers to now I got to kind of play offensive line. I don't know if I'll have those offers anymore. So it taught me how to grow up, and it taught me how to mature and, just be consistent and be persistent at the same time. And Alabama was just the college version of IMG, the cream of the crop, and it's going to weed out all the people who aren't made for it. And if you're made for it, you're going to strive every single day.
What were your initial thoughts being selected by the Titans?
Say again?
What was your initial thought after being selected by the Titans?
Let's get to work. I'm ready for it, man. I talked to all the coaching staffs on every visit I've been on the turnaround that's going to be, and all of them said, you're going to have your rookie minicamp coming up, and that's the main thing I'm focused on. So I appreciate the opportunity, but yeah. My main success, George Hageman. He was one of the guys who just stayed my mentor. UJ, he's at Alabama now. All the youth league coaches that I've had who coached me up and taught discipline in me. Mom, dad, and stepmom, they were always in my corner since I was a little kid and never gave up on me. And then my best friends and siblings, I just had a great support group around me, and group of people who just never gave up on me no matter how hard things got.
We'll take one more question.
Someone told me one time, I messed up on the run block once, and, he told me, he was like, your technique may have been bad, but at the end of the day, run blocking is just all about attitude. You bench God knows what and squat, over 1,000 pounds. So, a kid should never be able to, even have a chance on you, and that kind of mindset elevated me to understand, I am one of the strongest cats on the field, and this is a mindset thing. It doesn't take the strongest guy to make the play every single time, but I happen to be the strongest, so I need to make every single play.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.